I'm shivering, and I can't tell if it's because of the dream I just had or if something strange is going on, because it's 1:15 in the morning and I am standing alone in the kitchen, shivering and away from the fireplace. I just dreamt about baby Rachel. I dream about her a lot, for the half-sister I've never met. And she was about 5 in my dream. I was reading her a bedtime story, and then suddenly the lights went out. Rachel wanted to know why. It's because of the moon, I said. She giggled. Why would the moon want to make the lights go out? She said. So I explained to her everything. I told her that in May, an asteroid hit the moon and knocked it way closer to Earth, and how nothing has been the same since. It's crazy, honestly, how quickly something can change. You can go from being sad to being happy. You can go from being broke to being rich. However, not all change is positive, and change is a part of our life. Change can actually completely affect someone's life for life as they knew. In this story, Miranda and her family go through a humongous change that affects them forever. Nothing will ever be the same, and life as they know it will never be like that again. However, we can learn from Miranda because we can learn to be strong no matter what with our family. I now present to you This World We Live In by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. I told baby Rachel that it changed our gravitational pull and that there were tidal waves that washed away entire cities. There were volcanic eruptions that threw ash in the highway, causing famine and epidemics, and there were earthquakes that destroyed highways. What's sunlight? She said. And then suddenly, the dream turned into a nightmare. I couldn't remember what sunlight was. It was the worst dream ever. It's Monday, which means that me and Matt have to go to get our weekly food delivery. We waited all the way until sundown, but by the time it was dusk, we knew that Mr. Dansworth wasn't coming. Me and my older brother Matt went to City Hall the next morning to see if there was anybody there, but it showed up as closed and only open on Fridays. Then we'll figure out what to do Friday, Matt said. Then we'll figure out what to do. We'll have to leave, I told him. Maybe we should anyways. Find John a school. Mom wants us to stay as long as possible, but if there's no food, we can't stay. The following Friday, me and Matt went back. Mr. Dansworth was there. He looked tired and older in a wheelchair. We are not delivering anymore, but here is your weekly food delivery for the week. I didn't even know what to say. What if people were too weak to get here? To go in there? People relied on the food deliveries. But the next day, we had 4 hours of electricity, the longest stretch I could remember. My mom and I had an argument. John went fishing and she wouldn't let me go. And after all that, every little thing is my fault, right? It's always Miranda's fault. Insensitive, uncaring, she preached. Overbearing, playing favorites, I said. After that, I ran out of the house. Why is it fair that Matt and John get to go outside and go fishing and have fun, and I'm trapped in the house having to do all this work? I ran out of the house and I biked and I just didn't stop. I thought of all the stupidest things I've done. This was the stupidest because I could die out here and no one would even know what became of me. Then I just lost it. I just kept crying and I couldn't stop. I cried 6 months worth of fear and anger and grief and sadness. I was hungry and I was lost and I wanted to go home. When I walked in the door, of course, Mom was furious. After all of that, she handed me a pathetic, half-full bag of smelly, disgusting fish to take out to the cold, wet rain. When I got into the garage, I realized I didn't have the key to the padlock, and then my mom wouldn't open the garage door again. So I was stuck outside in the rain and the heavy cold, and then my mom finally came to her senses. I hate this. Everyone is always in such a crappy mood. We can't do anything. We can't go to school. Mom can't go to work. I can't even see my friends. Not like it matters anyways. It's not like I have any friends anymore. I hate this way of life. You'd think that I'd be used to it by now, but I'm not. And then, just what we didn't need, a cold spell came on that morning. We already don't have electricity to turn on the heat, so now I'm going to be even freezing in the house. Last night, the rain turned into a snow. Sometimes it snows in the spring, my mom said. But what I was thinking was, it never snows this close to summer. It's already May, but it's always cold now. I still haven't heard from Dad. It's been months, actually. I mean, I wasn't even sure if he was alive, if he was with Lisa, or if they had the baby or not. I was scared. I missed him. The following 2 days was the first anniversary of the moon. I've lost so much this year. I didn't think I could get used to losing people. Some have died, others have moved on. It almost didn't matter. Con is gone. It's awful. It's an awful night, too. It started raining and then it didn't stop. It was cold and it was windy and we haven't had electricity in days. We are all eating less and less, too, to conserve our food, and it's scary. Even Horton, John's cat, is barely eating. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I was in a good mood. It feels that all I do is be sad and mope around and feel sorry for myself. Matt and John are now chopping firewood outside. I guess it is starting to become summer, even though the weather's still crappy. At least we're able to have wood for the fireplace to keep the house somewhat warm. But then, the unthinkable happened. Dad and Lisa and like another half dozen people came up to the door. It was Lisa and their baby and Dad. But the baby's name was Gabriel. I was almost stunned it wasn't Rachel. I mean, I couldn't believe I had a dream about her all the time, but the baby's name wasn't Rachel. There were also 2 guys with them and a girl. Alex and Julia Morales were younger kids, probably closer to me and John's age. The older guy was probably in his 30s, named Charlie. But my first thought was that there were now 11 of us. Did Dad really expect us to feed all of these people? We would go hungry really quickly. But honestly, I was just happy that Dad was back, and I'm happy I got to meet the baby. I missed him so much. I didn't even know he was alive. We haven't heard from him in so long. I know that there are a lot of us right now, but I know that we can make it work. Our family always does, and as hard as it is, we never ever give up. Even when things just suck sometimes. Thank you.